All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we've got some blue buggy action lined up for you. That's right. We've got some new support to go over for blue buggy. They came out in ST-25, I believe it was. Okay, so we got to go over that in today's video. Let's get right into it. So let me walk through everything real quick so you know what you get into. First things first, we're going to be checking out the deck list we're going to be running for today's video. After that, we're going to head over to the sim. We got 5 games to go over on the sim, and then we're going to recap, and I'll tell you guys what I think about the leader moving forward. Okay, so I will have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comment section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below, or hop on the BB Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. Today's video is brought to you by Nin Garden, and their summer kickoff sale is live. They're offering 10 to 40% off site-wide across the entire store. For a limited time, get a free playmat tube with every Sun God playmat purchase while supplies last. Also, don't forget to use my code, the VV Theory, at the checkout for an extra 10% off. Alright, what's up guys? I got a quick announcement before we launch into today's video. July 1st, on the VV Theory Discord, we are going to be hosting a Rainbow Luffy tournament. Okay? All the details are on the Discord. Be sure to hop on and check it out for yourself if you're interested. Once you hop into the Discord, link is in the channel description. You will land right here in the landing zone, and that's where we say hey to everybody who comes in. We try to wave at everyone who comes in, but notice all the way down the list down here where it says tournaments, you'll be able to bring down this drop down here and go to the frequently asked questions. And here it is. You know, this is the FAQ for it, kind of explaining more about it. And if you have any extra questions, of course, don't be afraid to ask. Okay, but just some quick details on it. It will be July 1st. Okay, and its registration is going to start at 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay, and it will end by 8:45. Of the same day. You register the same day and you play that same day. Okay, and it's going to be a Rainbow Luffy tournament. So what does that mean? It's not like a sealed tournament or a limited tournament. Excuse me, in fact, it's the total opposite, right? You're going to be building a deck using any cards in the game up to OP11. Notice it says right here, every set up to OP11 is legal. OP12 will not be legal in the tournament. But you're going to play up to all the way up to OP11. It will be on the sim, okay? And you're going to have access to all the cards in the game. And imagine what that means. Rainbow Luffy, right, guys? Rainbow Luffy, that means you can run any card in the deck. It is a 6-color leader, and it has all names and types. So imagine a deck that has Cavendish, that also has access to 10 cost Lin Lin, that might have access to fill in the blank of whatever cards would normally just be restricted to a single type or color. Okay, so really cool stuff there. If you're interested and you want more details on that, be sure to stop by the Discord and ask away in there. Really looking forward to it. One more thing I want to say about it is notice the timing. It's on July 1st, which is a Tuesday, and the sign-ups start at 8 p.m. Eastern, okay? I stream at 9 p.m. Eastern every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So we will be streaming this tournament, okay? So again, if anyone's interested in that, be sure to stop by the Discord and ask about it and hop down to the FAQ and kind of get some ideas on what it's all about. All right, let's go and break down the deck list for today's video, starting off with the leader. Buggy is a 5,000 power, 5 life, mono blue, 4 Emperors cross guild type leader. With the effect Activate Main, you may rest 5 Dawn and discard 1 card from your hand to play up to 1 character with the cross guild type from your hand. Okay? So now we're going to run through the entire list. Be sure to pause and read these if you don't know what they do, okay? So first up, we're running 4 Mr. 3 Galdino, 4 Margaret, 4 Alvida, 4 Kabaji, 4 Moji, 4 Mr. 1 Das Bones, the 5-cost one, 4 of the 5-cost 2K counter Kabaji, 4 of the 6-cost Mihawk, 2 of the 7-cost Crocodile, 4 of the 7-cost Promo Buggy. This is also available now in the starter deck. And then we have 4 of the 8-cost Crocodile and Mihawk, 4 of the 10-cost Buggy, and 4 of the 1-cost Event. Okay? So the list is pretty straightforward for buggy lists. This one's not as spicy as my Shanks and Bonnie list, right? We were trying some pretty crazy stuff the past few days on the channel. Be sure to check those out if you have not already. We were trying to mess around with the new EB02 search events and things like that. That was a good time. But as far as buggy goes, I don't think we need any extra searcher power. And the way that the leader works, it is somewhat restricted, you know, to doing to building in a specific way, which is not a bad thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing, right? But we don't have quite as much deck building freedom for this leader as we do for something like Shanks or Bonnie. I mean, if you guys disagree, by all means, say something in the comment section below, but that is kind of the way that it feels, and who knows, maybe we'll find something in the future that helps us get around that. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, so what is this deck trying to do? We're trying to go first, typically speaking, so we can start slamming down 5-cost characters right away. I think going second really isn't that much worse now that we have all of these 4-cost characters. In fact, some people might even say that going second is preferable now that we do have these 4-cost characters that came out in the starter deck. What are these new characters? Let's go over that real quick. So we have a new Alvida here. It's a 4-cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter character with cross-guild type, which is very important, right? If you have 2 or more characters with a base cost of 5 or more, this character gains +1 cost. And then on play, if your leader's Buggy, draw 3 and trash 2. Very, very powerful new character here. Of course, we're running 4 of these in the deck. Now, there's also 2 new, very strong 4-cost 2k counters that are worded very similar to Alvida, where they can get +1 cost, okay? Kabaji, 4-cost, 1,000 power 2k counter. Excuse me, if you have 2 or more characters with a base cost of 5 or more, this character gains blocker and +1 cost. And then on your opponent's turn, this character gains +5,000 power. So that is massive, right? So this ends up being like a 4-cost, 6,000 power blocker, and it's really like a pseudo 5-cost blocker, which is going to help in a few ways, right? Number one, if we ever do have to attack later in the game with it, we can load up Dawn, even with Buggy on the board, because it'll count as a 5-cost character, right? So really good stuff there. And then, of course, it's harder for people to remove with cost-based removal. Okay, so that's Kabaji. I'm gonna come back to the 4-cost Buggy in a minute. I'm not running this. I'll talk about this in just a minute. We're gonna go over to Moji first. Moji is a 4-cost, 1,000 power 2k counter character, just like Kabaji. But it has, if you have 2 or more characters with a base cost of 5 or more, this character gains blocker and +1 cost. That part's identical. But listen to this card. Instead of having a on opponent's turn, this one has an on KO if your leader's Buggy, and if you have 3 or less cards in hand, draw 1 card. Okay, very strong utility blocker, 2k counter, also cross-guild. And the reason I say why is it important? I said, that's very important that these characters are cross-guild. It means we can search them up with Mr. 3 Galdino, okay, or we can search it up with cross-guild, right? So that's the main thing. It is important for other reasons to cheat out bigger characters later in the game, but remember, guys, these are 4-cost characters, so we don't have to cheat this out with our leader's effect for 5. That'd be paying 1 extra for the effect, right? We don't want to do that. But it is still very nice that we can search this up with our searchers and all that good stuff. It makes a very strong, like, cohesive deck. It has a lot of synergy to it, right? Okay. And then we have Crocodile and Mihawk. This is an 8-cost, 7,000 power character with on play, draw 2 and trash 1 cards from your hand, and then play up to 1 cross-guild type character card with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. So again, that's where the cross-guild part is extremely important on all these new cards like Alvida, Kabaji, and Moji. And then once per turn, there's another effect built into this leader that's equally as important, if not better in some situations. We have this once per turn effect. If your cross-guild type character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may trash 1 card from your hand instead. Okay? So say they want to get rid of your blocker here, the Kabaji or the Moji. Okay, if they want to try to get rid of this with removal, well, they're not going to be able to do it the first time because of this Crocodile. So this card is very, very strong. Draw 2, trash 1, cheat out a character and board protection, and it's an 8-cost 7k. We can play it out for 5 as well. With our leader's effect, we'll take it every time. Okay, last but not least, this is the one card that I'm not running from the new starter deck, and I'm not saying you shouldn't run it. There probably is some idea to run this card, especially, and I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but you can combo it a little bit with the Crocodile and Mihawk. Let's read this card real quick. So this is a 4-cost, 1,000 power, 1k counter Buggy with 4 Emperors and cross-guild type. And it has activate main. You may trash 1 card from your hand and then trash this character. And if your leader's Buggy, play up to 1 cross-guild type character card with a cost of 6 or less from your hand. So this is really only super powerful with 1 card in the deck, and it is Dracula Mihawk. Dracula Mihawk is a 6-cost, 7k blocker with on-play, draw 2, trash 1. So typically, we would not be able to play this card out and then cheat out the Mihawk because this is a 6-cost character. It is a cross-guild character, but remember, Crocodile and Mihawk can only play out a 4-cost or lower cross-guild character, right? So in other words, what we would be able to do is we'd be able to play this card out on play, draw 2, trash 1, and then we're going to play out a 4 cost or lower character, something like this Buggy, and then Buggy can trash itself. You may trash 1 card from your hand and trash this character, though, to play out a 6 cost or lower cross-guild character. So I was not a huge fan of that interaction. I'm still running 4 of the promo Buggies. This card right here, I think, is just plenty. Like, I think it's all we really need to combo with Dracula Mihawk. Because this Buggy here, this is a card that came out a while ago, and it got reprinted in the starter deck, which was really good, right? That's a really good thing. This is a 7 cost, 8,000 power character, but it cannot attack, okay? However, a 7 cost and 8,000 power, that is a very hard character for your opponent to deal with, and listen to what else it does. So it can't attack, but look at what it does. If your leader's Buggy, all cost 3 and 4 characters cannot attack. So in other words, if you cannot turn on the effect of these characters here, the 4 cost, the new 4 cost characters, even these would not be able to attack. However, if you have 2 or more characters with a base cost of 5 or more, this character will gain the +1 cost. Same thing with the Kabaji, and same thing with the Alvida. So that's what makes these really nice, especially the Alvida. We can actually play this out early, and then later on, even if this card is down, we still get to attack if we can activate. If we have 2 or more characters with a base cost of 5 in play, then we get to swing in for 5, which is really nice. But then there's another effect this card has. On play up to 1 cost 6 or lower cross-guild type character from your hand. So that's going to allow us to play out any of these 4 cost cards, these new starter deck cards we got. We can play out any of these with Buggy, but the best option, I think, is still going to be this Dracula Mihawk. It's, this is a 6 cost 7k, does a draw 2, trash 1. It's a blocker. And just by using both of these cards right here, just by playing out the Buggy, cheating out the Mihawk, well, now every one of these 4 cost characters we play out later in the game, they're going to be able to do, what they're supposed to do. Okay, really good stuff there. Yeah, that's pretty much the entire list. Oh, and just kind of to finalize what I'm trying to say here on Buggy, I'm not a huge fan of this card because you do have to trash this card and a card from hand. So let's look at what that might look like. Okay, especially if we do it with if we play the card out with Crocodile and Mihawk, which I think is kind of what they were intending to do. It's why they came out in the same set. The idea is, okay, let's just say we have 5 cards in hand, right? Like, say we have 5 cards in hand. Okay, so if we're on our 5 Dawn turn, right, we have to trash a card from our hand to play out this Crocodile and Mihawk, which will drop us down to 3 cards in hand. Crocodile and Mihawk will allow us to draw 2 cards and then trash a card. Now we're down to 4 cards in hand, and now we can play a character out from our hand that's cross-guild and costs 4 or less. We'll play out the Buggy, right? We'll play out the Buggy, so we're down to 3 cards in hand. Now the Buggy has an activate main to trash a card and trash this character to play out a card from your hand. Okay, so we went from a 5-card hand down to a 1-card hand to do all that. Now, once we do play out the Dracula Mihawk, that will at least let us draw 2, trash 1. So, when we play out the Buggy and the card from hand, we'll get to draw 2, trash 1. We'll end off with 2 cards in hand. I know that was a little bit of math. I'm sure a lot of people didn't want to, didn't want to hear all that, and hopefully it wasn't too clumsy. Hopefully y'all understood what I was trying to explain there. But it just ends up being too much negative in hand for how I play Buggy. If you guys can make it work, by all means, okay, by all means. Now, one thing I want to mention up front here before I break down the deck list anymore is I know a lot of people are probably going to say something like, why aren't you running the stage? I get that question every time. Guys, the answer is I don't like running the stage. That's just my personal preference. If you do like to run the stage, please go ahead, be my guest, run the stage. If it's a card you like to play, by all means do it. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of the stage. What else? So I do still prefer Margaret. If you don't like Margaret, run Sanji's Pull Off here or whatever card of your choice, right? That's fine. It's up to you. But I do still like this Margaret card. It is a 3-cost blocker that replaces itself in hand, and it's a great turn 2 play going first with this leader. I still do prefer going first, but I do understand wanting to go second now, because going second, we can do something like, turn 1, let's just do a search or whatever. Turn 2, we can play out a Margaret or any of these 4-cost cards now. And then turn 3, we can, we have 1 Dawn left, but with 5 Dawn, we could cheat something out with Buggy and go from there. Or even just play out a Dracula Mihawk, just hard cast it for 6. Don't even use the leader effect. And then from there, we can even curve out into 8 cost, into 10 cost. All of that's possible. By all means, you can run it that way if you want to. But I do still prefer going first. and just going turn 1 Searcher, you know, the Searcher event or the Searcher character, and then turn 2 playing out Margaret if we get it. If not, you know, just attack more aggressively, and then turn 3 just going straight into our leader effect, cheating out the Crocodile and Mihawk, which can cheat out these 4-cost cards, or cheating out the Buggy, which can cheat out Dracula Mihawk. Now, we are down to 2 copies of Crocodile, just the 7-cost Crocodile, because it is still a 1K counter, and this can also, you know, play up to 1 character card with the cross-guild type, or with a type including Baroque Works and a cost of 5 or less from your hand. So that's why I'm still running the 4 Mr. 5 DOS, Mr. 1 DOS Bones, the 5-cost version, because, okay, if your leader type includes, well, our leader doesn't include Baroque Works, that part doesn't matter. It's the on play that really matters. Draw 2, trash 1. So we're cycling through our deck, we're developing a 5-cost 6K. It's a Baroque Works character, and it only really has synergy with this 1 card now, but otherwise we can just use it as a 1K counter, or we can trash it with our leader's effect. Either one works, but I do see a world in the future here where we go -4 of this Mr. 1 DOS Bones and -2 of this Crocodile, and we'll have 6 open spots whenever we can get maybe a little bit more support for the Buggy and the Crocodile and Mihawk. Okay, that's about it, guys. Make sure to pause and read this card if you don't know how it works, because this is a very important part of this deck. This is really the card that makes the entire deck function. Okay, this is a really important card to how the deck functions. Once you start slamming down these Buggies on a full board of 5-cost characters or more, that's pretty much all she wrote, right? Your opponent's going to start feeling a lot of pressure while you're bottom decking their cards and developing 10Ks along, or 12Ks along the way, 10-cost 12Ks, and you can do that on 5 Dawn now, and you have a lot of options, guys. Now, on a 10 Dawn turn, it used to be, okay, well, I can just play out 2 5-costs, you know, or excuse me, I can activate you can activate your leader effect more than once per turn, guys. That is not a once per turn effect, okay? So in the past, the way your 10 Dawn turn might look was something like, okay, use my leader effect to develop a Dracula Mihawk, or maybe even a Buggy into Mihawk to fill out your board, so that way you could spend 5 more Dawn and trash a card to cheat out this Buggy, and if you had, you know, if the rest of your board was a bunch of 5-cost or higher characters, then you can start getting rid of their characters. So really good stuff there. Okay, that's it. All right, let's go, guys. Let's go over to the sim and check out this deck in action. All right, first game up we have against Blackbeard. Volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. Blackbeard used to be, I feel like Blackbeard used to be a pretty free matchup for Buggy, but not anymore. It feels like a pretty tough matchup now. Okay, so right now we're going to go first. We're going to play out Mr. 3 Galdino, fix our hand a little bit, and they're going to follow up with a stage plus Caribou. And they chose to not use their stage, so I guess they're pretty happy with their hand. They did not use their leader effects, so and we couldn't really punish them. We had no on-play effects. We're going to fix our hand a little bit with some Searcher events, and here we go. We're going to pass it back to them on their 4 Dawn turn. They are going to use their stage now. I'm very surprised they didn't just use that, this is my era, to fill up their trash. They're going to swing for 9. They're going to trash a card with their leader, and now we have no on-play effects for the turn. Well, guess what, guys? This is the main reason why Buggy used to be so strong into Blackbeard, is because if you turn off the leader effects, excuse me, if you use your leader to turn off the on-play effects for your opponent against Buggy, that 10-cost Buggy we were just looking at can be played as a 10-cost 12K for 5. Okay, so we're going to swing for 5. I think they took that down to 3 life. We're going to trash a card from hand. We're going to trash the Mihawk, playing out a 10-cost 12K. We couldn't bottom deck a character because we have no on-play effect, but we also don't lose our Buggy in the process. Okay, well, that's a 10-cost 12K on the board, guys. There is no easy answer to that card in Blackbeard. Okay, so we do counter out of that attack, I believe. We're going to swing in for 7 to start this turn off. They're going to block. They're going to get a character back from their trash. Okay, I don't really care too much about that dot Q, but I'll still attack into it with my Mr. 3 Galdino if he wants to save that, sure. We're going to trash another card from hand and play out another 10-cost 12K Buggy. And this is where it becomes very hard for Marshall D. Teach or for Blackbeard to keep up. It's like, okay, if you're going to turn off my on-play effects, I'm going to drop a 10-cost 12K on you every single turn. And if you don't, I'm going to flood the board. It becomes a situation. It's almost like a checkmate. Do it, pick your poison, right? That's kind of what happens here. So they're still going to stick to their plan of using their leader effect. Okay, that's fine with me. Now, one card that would be very good for us in this situation is like a Gravity Blade, but I'm not running those. Maybe that's something we need to consider for the deck, because hitting those Burgess right here would just be game over. They would just give up on the spot, I think. Okay, so right here we're going to swing for 5, swing for 12, swing for 12. They're going to be down to 0 life. We're going to play out a blocker. We're going to trash a card from our hand, and we're going to play out a third 10 cost 12k. I don't know what they're supposed to do. Playing out a 10 cost 12k, playing out the 10 cost 12k teach is not going to do anything for my opponent in this situation. They are up against the ropes. That is a blocker. They can't even go aggressively into one of my buggies here. Okay. They're going to use Doc Q to get rid of my Mr. 3 Galdino. That's fine. You know, that thing already did its job. I just want to know what this person is supposed to do in this situation here to get around all this. So they're going to swing in for 5. We're just going to block and draw a card with the on KO there. They're going to swing for 7. We're just going to fill our hand up here. Seems good. And now we just swing 12 3 times, and that's going to be game. I guess they were hoping, the reason they didn't leave sooner is they thought, okay, well, maybe, you know, my opponent will make a mistake and I'll attack into the Burgesses, right? Which he would let go immediately because then he gets to go one more round. We were not going to make that mistake, guys. Once you get 3 10 cost 12Ks on the board, it is just a matter of time for your opponent, right? Okay, good game to my opponent there. Let's move on to the next one. We got a game versus Purple Black Luffy. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x, and here we go. Okay, so let's see who gets to go first here. Purple Black Luffy does prefer to go first as well. So they're going to, I think they won the dice roll and they chose to go first. Okay, no problem. We still have a Mr. 3 Galdino to fix our hand a little bit. And we do have some decent options here in hand for later on in the game. We need to get some of these 4-cost characters, though, for the Crocodile and Mihawk combo that we have in hand. Okay, we actually can play out either of these 7-cost or 8-cost crocodiles. You know, well, one's Croc and Mihawk, right? We can play out either of the combos, though, and we have the cards in hand we need. So we're actually in a very good spot. They swing for 5. We do greedily take that. Purple doesn't run a lot of ways right now to punish your hand. That's not to say they don't have access to any, like the 4-cost Trafalgar Law, but they're not many decks are running that right now. Only a few are, at least from what I've seen. So we're going to play out the Kabaji here. We now have a 4-cost... well, actually, we don't even have a blocker, right, guys? With this new Kabaji card, he's not a blocker unless your opponent has, unless you have 2 or more 5-cost or bigger characters on the board. Okay, so we're going to swing 6 into 4 here. He should not save that. That was the right call. There was no reason to save that card. I guess maybe there was some reason if he wanted to get to 10 Dawn next turn, because I think he's on 6. He'll go to 8. Actually, he could have got to 9 Dawn. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use our leader effect here, trashing one of the 8-cost Crocodile Mihawks, because we had 3 in hand. We cheat out the Moji here. He is not a blocker right now. He cannot block right now because I don't have enough characters on the board. Okay, I don't have enough 5-cost or bigger, higher characters on the board. Okay, we're in a little bit of trouble here. They play out a one-legged toy soldier. That's a little bit concerning. That is a little concerning here. So we're going to go 6 into that. We're going to go 8 into the 6 into the Sanji, 8 into the Sanji. He defends out very, very aggressively, and we're in a tough spot here, guys. You know, buckle up. This match is just getting started, right? We're entering into a stage of the game here where things might get pretty difficult. So they have the 7. They have Beer Luffy or Cheers Luffy on the board. They have the 5-cost Sanji on the board. They have, and then they have a one-legged toy soldier. They're going to go ahead and use the one-legged toy soldier right now to -3 the cost of my Mihawk. And now, watch this. I save it by trashing a card from hand, and then he hits me with a 8-cost Sabo, popping 2 characters on my board. He's going 7 into 7. I'm countering out. I have to let it go. Swings in for 7. I take it. And, guys, we are in a big, this is big trouble here, right? This is a big problem. All right, how are we going to deal with this? He has no cards in hand, so wherever we swing, it is going bye-bye, right? Okay. I am basically saying, you know what? I think I'm going to get rid of this Sanji on the board by swinging into it with Mr. 3 Galdino, and then I'm just going to hope he doesn't top deck the perfect card, the perfect answer. So he's going to swing in for 10. I'm going to block, and now he's just going to smash in for 12. We're going to take it. We do get to search here. That is very nice, and here we go. Okay, we're getting back in the game, right? We're starting to get back into the game here. What would you do in this situation? What would you do in this situation? We have no life. They have 3 life. They have a huge character on the board. We're going to go 10 into 9, and I'm basically saying, okay, I really, really hope that this is not a 2K counter. Okay? So right here, now we're going to play out we're going to trash a Buggy, the 7-cost Buggy, to play out the other Buggy, cheating out a Dracula Mihawk to do a draw 2 trash one and fix our hand a little bit. Okay, here we go. I have a blocker, so he can't just win the game. He's going to swing for 14. Okay, here's my blocker. We're starting to stabilize now. This is getting very scary for my opponent. I'm going to swing for 5. They counter out for some reason. Guys, they countered out there. I don't think that was the right call, but hey, that was fine with me, right? We will take that every time. Okay, we have a blocker in hand. We're going to play out the Mr. 3 Galdino first. We're just trying to find some decent cards here, either 2K counters or cards that can help us flood the board, and especially blockers. We're going to play out the Kabaji, both Kabajis, the 5 cost and the 4 cost. And now that we have 2 5 cost or higher characters on the board, we now have a 5K or 6,000 power blocker Kabaji. Okay, we're going to block. He left 2 Dawn active. Okay, here we go. We're slowly creeping back into this game. Do y'all see this, guys? We're slowly getting back into the game. If he gets a single rush character, we're just going to lose, right? Okay, so we're going to swing for 5 here. Any trigger? Whoop, looks like he did something. He did a Dawn -1. Okay, he was able to top knot something off the board. What was it? Let's go back real quick. Okay, it was just a Mr. 3 Galdino. We don't care at all about that card. But my opponent is in such a tough situation here. They're like, you know what? My opponent can just swing lethal on me now with all these cards he has on the board. But, realistically, I probably can't. So I wasn't too upset about him using that top knot there. Okay, he plays out a Kuzan to get rid of our guy. We can finally counter out without losing a character or a blocker on the board. Now watch this, guys. We're going to play out the the Alvita. We're going to do a draw 3, trash 2. Now we're going to swing for 5. Hopefully no trigger. No trigger, please. Okay, swing for 5. And now we're going to trash a card from hand. Trashing a Buggy, playing out the Buggy, bottom decking the Kuzan. Our board is finally there, guys. We weathered the storm. Let's see if they can do anything. The only thing that could be really scary here is something like a all right, they're going to swing in for 10. We are going to block out because we have another blocker in hand. Okay, the only thing that could really get us here is like a Sanji, like a Rush Sanji, or maybe the Rush 6 cost Secret Luffy. That's the only thing that can really hurt us right now. We're going to swing 12. This is obviously going to go through. He can't even use Gum Gum Giant because he only has 1 card in hand. Okay, he takes that down to 1 life. We're not going for lethal yet, though, guys. We probably could have tried to go for lethal, but that is a 7,000 power character, guys. 7,000 power. We play out Mr. 3 Galdino. We're trying to fix our hand a little bit. Leader effect, trashing a card from hand. We're going to bottom deck his card. And now we're going to play out this Moji over the 7 cost Buggy. We don't need that card anymore. It can't attack anyway. All right, here we go, guys. We got a blocker left and a 2K counter. That's all we have left. They're going to grab Rebecca. They're going to pull back a 5-cost Sanji here, attach a Dawn to their leader to KO my blocker, but they're only going to be able to swing for 6. Not to mention we're going to get to draw a card on KO with emoji. That Rebecca top deck was scary. I'm not gonna lie. That Rebecca top deck, or if they got it from life or whatever, that was scary. We're gonna be we got a 1K counter from the on KO, and that's gonna be game, guys. We're gonna swing in for 7, 7, 7, 12, 12. GG. What a game, guys. Buggy crawling back from the brink of destruction. Guys, who doubted Buggy for even 1 second? Who even doubted? I'm just kidding. That was a great game. Good game to my opponent there. That was a wild ending there. Okay, let's see. So that was against Purple-Black Luffy. Now we got a game versus Blue-Purple Luffy, okay? So volume is off. Speed is on 2x. And here we go. Guys, Buggy has a pretty decent matchup into most stuff, I think. And having access to blue as your main color pool, as your only color here, there's so much utility we can run between. We already kind of have like a pseudo red rock in this deck with the 5-cost Buggy. We can just bottom deck cards early on for 5, even if we don't have a full board with our Buggy, and get them back later. And then, we have access to Gravity Blade. We have access to cards like Pudding, and I don't have any of that in the deck just yet. So that is something we can get to eventually. Okay, they're going to play out a Zoro. I have no way of dealing with that right now. We're going to just develop Margaret here, draw a card, develop a blocker, and go from there. Okay, so they're on 5 Dawn. Looks like they're going to be able to go to 6 Dawn, maybe. Yeah, swing for 5 with the Zoro Juro. They'll go up to 6 Dawn, and then they can go up to 7 Dawn, but it doesn't really matter at this point. No matter what, next turn, I don't think they're going to be able to get to 8 Dawn. So they're going to swing for 6 here. We counter out of the 5, and then we'll just take this one. That's fine. I wasn't sure if he was going to load up and swing for 7, and I wanted to keep my blocker on the field. They play out a Nami. I'm not scared of that card whatsoever, right? That's fine. Okay, let's see what they choose to do here. They're going to draw. They're doing a draw 3 arrange 2. Now we're going to swing 6 and a 4. Do they want to give me a card for this? I don't think it's the right call because they're going to be on 8 Dawn next turn no matter what, so they don't have to worry about ramping at all. They let it go, I think, very wisely. And now we're going to play out this Buggy here to fill out the board a little bit. Okay, so here we go. Maybe I should have attacked into that Zoro. Maybe that was a little bit greedy because now that card's not going to be able to attack for the rest of the game as long as I have this Buggy on the board, right? So here we go. Let's see what they choose to do with 8 Dawn. They could not use their leader effect just yet because they got to 8 Dawn on this turn, okay? So here we go. Let's see what they choose to do for 8 Dawn. Maybe play out a Katakuri. Okay, maybe not. They're going to attach 2, 3, 3 Dawn to their leader. They're going to swing for 9. We are going to cash in on that blocker now before they start rolling out like the 9-cost Linlands. I want to go ahead and use that now. They hit me with a pudding, which I thought was very interesting because that does buy me some time, not developing any kind of character on the board. That's fine with me, and we did draw into a lot of searchers, right? So we were either going to draw into a lot of cross-guild cards or a lot of cards that search into cross-guild. So we're not really too upset about this interaction here. Not that we were happy that it happened, but yeah, we weren't too upset. Okay, so we did one more search. We just did 3 searches, 2 Galdinos, and a cross-guild event, and we finally found a character that spits out another character in the 8-cost Crocodile and Mihawk. We're going to swing for 7. We're not going to relent here, guys. We're going to keep attacking him with everything to try to burn their hand a little bit. We're going to do a draw 2, trash 1 there, and then we're going to play out the other Alvita, draw 3, trash 2, and our hand is pretty much as fixed as it can be right now, right? We just need to get into some more into some 10-cost 12Ks now, the Buggy. Okay, here we go. They cannot attack in with that pudding. They can't attack in with pudding because it is a 4-cost character and we have Buggy on the board. Okay, they're going to play out the Sanji into the Katakuri. Into the Katakuri. We're going to take this hit here. It was a searcher. We search up the Moji, which is a 2K counter and a blocker if we need it. And here we go. Are they going to choose to attack with Nami? The answer is no. Now we're going to do a top search. We find the 10-cost Buggy. And we've been searching for this, guys. We've gone through 4 searchers in 2 turns. Actually, 5 searchers, right? It was 3 Galdinos and now 3 cross-guild searches because of the trigger. We're going in for Sigan, for 6. We're going for Sigan. Guys, we're going for 6 here with Alvita. And then we're going to probably... yeah. So that was a blunder on my opponent's part. They should have used the Katakuri there because they knew we searched up the Buggy, but that was our mistake as well. Okay, we're going in for 6 more. Into 6, we're just trying to poke our opponent's hand down. We're just trying to stay aggressive, to be honest. So we're swinging in for 6 here. And watch this, guys. We're not stopping. We're not stopping there. Swing for 6 more. Or excuse me, swing for 8 this time. He has to give me a gear 2. And right here, I decide, okay, do I want to attack him with the Mihawk? The answer is yes, we do. We're going to swing it for 8. Does he want to give me a blocker, or does he want to give me 2 cards from hand? Yes, he wants to give me 2 2Ks from hand, guys. Okay, and remember, that's a 10-cost 12K on the board. So if he wants to start attacking into my board now, number 1, I can just let the cards go. But number 2, I probably can defend them a lot better, right? Because these are 7K characters, other than the 5K Alvita, obviously. Right, so we're in a pretty good spot. They're going to red rock here. We're going to trash a card from hand, and they're not going to be able to red rock what they wanted. They just wasted 6 Dawn. They're going to go 9 into the Croc and Mihawk here. We're going to 2K 1K to get out of that, or 2K 2K. And here we go. They're going to go ahead and use the another 9K attack there. I think we got a little bit greedy there. Let me go back real quick, guys. So when they use the red rock here to remove my Buggy, watch this. I decide to trash the Alvita in this situation here to save it, right? I should have trashed the Margaret, and then I could have saved both attacks into the Croc and Mihawk. But that's okay. You know, that was definitely a small play mistake there, though. That was definitely a small play mistake there for sure. Okay, here we go. So now it's back to our turn. We draw a Mr. 1 Das Bones for the turn. We're going to be able to play out this Margaret just to draw an extra card. Okay, not really great. We don't want any... None of that in my hand is really all that great. The Moji's pretty good because it's a blocker, so we just have to keep on the pressure here. We just have to keep beating them down. We are threatening lethal, technically. They're going to give us a 2K counter there. We're going to swing for 7, then we're going to swing for 12. Okay, they're going to block into that, so now I think we should go 12. Probably actually into face here and say, hey, I'm going to win next turn. I'm actually going to win next turn, and I have a blocker, and I have 2 life, so you can't realistically... even try to win this, right? The only thing that I think could help them out here, and we had no play followed up by that with that 5 cost. I guess, hang on, I don't know why. I think afterwards I decided okay. Hear me out. My logic, I think, was I was just going to play out the Mr. 1, the Mr. 1 Das Bones over a Buggy, and then I remembered, like, wait a minute, this card's actually preventing the pudding from attacking, and that could be the difference between winning or not. So that was another play mistake. We could have actually swung for, what, 7? So we could have swung for 8, 8, 8 this turn with the 12, and that could have actually pushed it over the edge where our opponent just couldn't do anything afterwards. Okay. Either way, it is now their turn. They're going to swing 9 into 5. I think I should just give them that card. Okay, maybe not. Because the reason I blocked out of that is because they can't invest any Dawn into their leader this turn if they still want to develop a 9-cost body. See, so they're going to swing in for 9 here, or for 6 here. I'm going to 2K counter out of it. I have a 1K left in hand. What are they going to do now? They're going to play out the Charlotte Linlin, and they're going to put a card back to our life. It's the Mihawk, of course. That's the better target. But are they going to be able to survive here? We'll have to see. Oh, man, we actually have an incredible play lined up for our opponent here. We actually have an absolutely incredible play lined up for our opponent here. Let's see how they like it. We'll swing for 12 and see what they want to do. That's a 12K attack, so he might choose to block this one up front because it's the biggest attack. Okay, sure. Well, now maybe we just extend the game out one more turn. We do a draw 2, trash one. We'll trash the Mihawk. Now we're going to pay 5 with the leader effect to trash a Buggy, to play out a Buggy. Bottom decking one of their 9-cost cards. It doesn't matter which one, to be honest. And now it's their turn. They can't swing for lethal this game, or this turn now, no matter what. Even if they top deck a rush character, they can't swing with the Charlotte Pudding, and it doesn't matter. They can only swing for 3 at the most. We have a 1K counter in hand, so they would have to swing for... They would have to invest at least 3 Dawn on the Sanji just to get rid of the Buggy that's sideways. Let's see if they choose to do that. Okay, well, now they're using Red Rock to get rid of my standing Buggy. They have to put all 4 Dawn on that card to get rid of it now. They do, which was a very good play, but now they are completely tapped out. They're going to swing for 6. We're going to take it, and here we go, guys. You know, this is one of those situations where it's like, okay, you know what? I kind of smell blood in the water here. I think we're going to swing 6, 10, and 10. Hope for the best here. Okay, that's a 1K. Now it's going to be, actually it's going to be 8, and then we can actually play something afterwards like a blocker so that way we won't just lose on the spot. So we'll swing for 8, and if he takes this... Oh, okay, well, if that's the case, then we're going in for everything. So it was going to be, okay, we're going to swing for 8, and if he counters out, we were actually going to pay 5 and play out the... Or pay 4, rather, and play out the Moji as a blocker, because we do have 2 5-cost or higher characters on the board, and then we could just go one more turn against them. Not that we wanted to do that. Look, guys, and they did have a rush character in hand. They did have a rush character in hand, so that last turn was actually very interesting. But hear me out. I don't know, they might have got that from their last life, who knows? But what we were going to do there, if they did not take that last hit, if they countered out of it, then we just probably swing for 6 and then develop this this Moji here and pass the turn and pretty much hope for the best. We would have 2 life, and they would only have 2 attacks, and we have a blocker, so even if they chose to attack in with the Luffy, we'd be okay. But since they did take that last attack, okay, well, now it's going to be attach 7 to our leader, swing for 12, GG. Okay. We got 2 more games. Let's go to the next one here. We got a game versus Red Green Smoker. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x, and here we go. Buggy's kind of a menace, guys. I'm not going to lie. Buggy is kind of a menace right now. So we're going to slam down Mr. 3 Galdino on turn 1, fix our hand a little bit. And then we're going to have some decent follow-ups here. We're going to swing for 5. We're going to play out a Margaret to fix our hand a little bit more. And if they attack in right here, we're definitely going to take this aggressively. Now, he did see me search up one of these Buggies with the Mr. 3 Galdino, and he still chose to play out the Sanji here. So maybe he plans on removing my 7-cost Buggy. Okay, we're swinging for 5 here. We're going to trash a Margaret to play out a Buggy, cheating out a Mihawk, draw 2, trash 1, trashing a Margaret. And our board is already starting to get pretty ugly here. There we go. First mistake right there, guys. First mistake right there, because they were going to play out a Smoker anyway. That's okay. They can look. It probably didn't matter that much. I don't think it's going to change their turn very much. They're still just... They were probably going to attack in for 9 into my leader, because they can't attack him with that card anyway. Okay, sure. We just take it. We don't care. We're going to use the cross-guild search here into another one. Into probably, I kind of like the second 10-cost Buggy here, but we are going to be able to use that 7-cost Crocodile to play out the Mr. 1 DOS Bones. And now we can trash one of our Buggies here to play it out. Yep. Okay, it looks like we're actually just going to play out the Buggy into a second Mihawk, which I like that better because that got rid of 2 bricks, 3 bricks from my hand, realistically 4 bricks, because I drew into an 8-cost Crocodile Mihawk. So, we're actually, you know, we fixed our hand a little bit. Our board is completely stacked. We're going to block out of the banish hit with a 1K with our Mihawk, and let's see what they choose to do here. They have 8 Dawn left. They're going to go ahead and Mole Gun to get rid of the Mihawk, so it looks like they did things a little bit out of order there. They should have did that first, so I would have had to take that banish hit, because that banish hit would hurt. Actually, we still had the Margaret blocker. What am I talking about? We would have been fine either way. Okay, so they play out a second Smoker here. We're going to swing in for 5. We're on a 9 Dawn turn. Well, guess what? Pause. Before, we would not have been able to do what I'm about to show right here. Before we got the new starter deck support for Buggy, we would not have been able to do this play that I'm about to show off on, you know, in this video. We're going to be able to play out this 4-cost card, which will be counted as a 5-cost character. Why does that matter? Okay, sure. What does it matter? that will make it where we have 4 5-cost or higher characters on the board. So we'll be able to play out the Buggy for 5 with our leader effect, you know, trashing a card from hand to play out the Buggy. And now we're going to be able to bottom deck one of these smokers and go start really oppressing them on the board at that point. Okay, so we swing 5, we swing 7, we play out the Moji, which is a blocker. We cheat out the Buggy for 5, trashing a Crocodile to bottom deck a Smoker. And guys, this is not the position you want to be in, as it turns out. And we only have 3 cards in hand. We block with Emoji and draw a card, right? I mean, those new starter deck cards for Buggy are tremendous, right? They are incredible. They are truly outstanding in this deck. I think it is something Buggy really needed. So they're going to go 7 into 7 here. They only have 1 more attack. I think I am just going to give them the 1K Mr. 3 Galdino. But I also like the idea of keeping that card and searching for more stuff. It is what it is. I think we got a little bit greedy there. But hey, that's okay. We got a lot of stuff we can do still. We're going to go 12 into 12 here. He's actually just going to go ahead and block out. And now we're going to go 12 more into 12. This would cost every card in his hand. And that's only if he has a 2K, 2K, 1K. So we're going to go 12 and 8. Does he have it? He does not have it. Because from there, guys, we actually could have loaded up 3 Dawn on our leader and just swung, swing that way. So we're going to go 5 in the face here. Let's see what they get. They don't get anything. We're going to trash card from hand, playing out the Buggy, bottom decking the Tashigi because we cannot bottom deck the Smoker. And they can't swing Masanji because of our 7-cost Buggies. And we have 2 of them. They can't even remove 1 to just like try to swing through. Okay, they only have 2 possible attacks this turn. The writing is on the wall. There's nothing they can do, to be honest. We have 2 12Ks on the board, by the way. 2 12Ks. So even if he plays out another one of those Eustace Kids, okay, pause. What is it even going to do? So in this situation here, they could have tried to play out Hody Jones. Again, what is that going to do? I think the best option would have been something like this Tony Chopper as a blocker. But okay, we swing with 1 12, it eats the blocker. We swing with another 12, it eats the next one. We swing with the Mihawk, we swing 15 with face. I mean, there's just no way out of it, right? Good game to my opponent. They were stuck in a very sticky situation there. All right, we got 1 more game. This is against a slightly more aggressive deck here against Green-Yellow Law. Volume is off. Let's get the speed on 2x, and here we go. Beautiful. I love that turn 1 Galdino into turn 2 Margaret into turn 3 leader effect. It feels so good, guys. It feels so strong. And we get to start attacking first, which I really like to do as Buggy. Okay, they're going to use the Capone Gang Beige here. Right on the first turn. I'm not a huge fan of that play. As someone who does like to play with Green-Yellow Trafalgar Law, I'm not a huge fan of that play, but maybe they had no better options in hand. They get out of the 5K attack with Trafalgar Law. Sure, we developed the Margaret like we said. They're going to play out Bonnie, keeping the Cavendish in life. They're going to attach a Dawn, pulling back the Scratchman Apu. They're going to rest down my Mr. 3 Galdino. Sure. I'm not sure what's going on. This guy might be new, guys. Let's be nice. This guy might have been a little bit... Yeah, he had to have been. Pause. So hear me out. Okay, well, he might have drawn the Luffy for the turn. He might have drawn the Monkey D. Luffy for the turn. Let's just assume he did for the sake of, for the sake of what I'm about to say here. Because you want to pull back cards with on-play effects that really benefit you. Tapping down my Mr. 3 Galdino just doesn't do anything. So in other words, even pulling back the Capone Beige would have been a better option than pulling back the Scratchman Apu. Because even if you needed to play out the Beige for next turn, which it looks like they didn't need to, they have Luffy right here. But let's just say they needed to do that for this example. Okay, no problem. You play it back out, and then you can set up your life to do something next turn. But whatever the case is, my opponent here... Not the best play I've ever seen. I'll say that right now, but they do have a full board. They do have a full board for what it's worth. Okay, here we go. They're going to swing for 6. We're going to very, very gladly take that because Green-Yellow does not have a way to punish hand currently. So we're going to swing 5 into face here. What are they going to do? I'm sure they'll just give us... Actually, they might have to take... They have 3 cards in hand. They just give us a blocker. So that was the last thing I would have done. Pause. We got to explain a few more things. Hang on, guys. Bear with me. There's no way I'm giving a blocker in that situation. I don't care that my board is full. I would just play a card over the Beige or play a card over the Scratchman Apu before I gave up my blocker there, or I would just take the hit, right? I would actually just take the hit in that situation just to get some cards back in my hand. Okay, so we swing for 5. They give us the blocker. That was the best outcome for us. That was the absolute best outcome. We're going to pay 5, trashing a Dracula Mihawk to play out the Crocodile Mihawk, doing a draw 2, trash 1, trashing the Margaret, playing out the Alvida, doing a draw 3, trash 2, and our hand is completely fixed. We just did, hang on, let me see what we just did there. We ended up just doing a draw 2, trash 1, draw 3, trash 2. So that was a draw 5, trash 4, and developed 2, technically 2 5-cost or higher characters on the board because of how Alvida will function, right? A draw 5, trash 2, and now we have protection on the board. Seems really good. We'll take it every single time. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. So we ship the turn back to them. They're going to play out Zeus. Okay, well we're just going to counter that effect with our Crocodile Mihawk here. I think I should have gotten rid of the Cross Guild in that situation, but at the same time, it is good to be able to have more searcher power in case we need to try to fill out the board next turn. But we already have what we need. I don't know. Not a huge fan of that play looking back at it. I think I should have gotten rid of the Cross Guild. Our hand's completely fine right now. Okay, they're going to play out a Bonnie, the 3-cost Joey Bonnie blocker, pulling a card out of their life, putting the 5-cost Law into life, playing out the Law, pulling back the Zeus here, and I was expecting him to replay it, and I thought that was going to be a really awesome play to get rid of my Alvida, and then they decided, nope, we're not going to do that. Okay, that's fine with me. They swing in with Cavendish, we take it, they swing in for 8 with the leader, and we're just going to probably block this one. Could also take this. Notice I'm spending a lot of time on this. Like, you know what? We could technically just take this, but I think that'd be a little too greedy here. Especially knowing that they have Zeus in hand. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I think we're going to go into this board a little bit, but we can also just go at face. I think we're going to do a 5K poke first. Like, let's just see what they do. First of all, we're going to do a top 5 search, or a top 4 search with the Cross Guild event. And now I think we're just going to do a nice little 5K poke at leader. Here we go. 5 into 5. What does he want to give me? I think he blocks with Trafalgar Law, if I remember correctly, which I don't hate that play. I think that was the right play in this situation. But now we are going to go 6 into Cavendish, and I'm not going to let him draw any cards, so I'm going to make him give me answers from hand. We're going to go 6 into 6, and then probably 7 into 6 with the Crocodile Mihawk. That's fine. 7 into 6. He'll probably give me the Bonnie in this situation. Okay, or a 2K counter. That's fine as well. We're going to play out the Crocodile Mihawk. We'll do a draw 3, a draw 2 trash one, and now we're going to play out the Kabaji with that effect, and now we have a blocker. Okay, our board is getting massive, guys. That's a 6K blocker, a 5K attacker, 2 7Ks. And next turn, they can't stop me. Realistically, they probably can't stop me. Okay, they play out Zeus again. We're going to protect our board by trashing a card, one of these 10-cost buggies. And next turn, if I want to, unless they do enough damage to my board right here, and they're not even going for the board, I was going to say, next turn, they can't really stop me from slamming down this buggy to take out their board, start winning the board. They're going to play out a 7-cost Law. Seems good. They're going to gain a life. They're going to gain a rested Dawn to their leader, and then they're probably going to attach the last Dawn to their leader and just swing for 7. Okay, they decide to pull back a character just to play out the Capone Beige here. I don't think that's the right call. We're just probably going to block here in 2K, or even, yeah, just block in 2K seems good, and that's their turn. Okay, so let's just do a little bit of math here. 1 7K attack from the Crocodile Mihawk will be 2 cards out of hand. Now, nothing but 7K attacks just win the game, right? They have 3 blockers. So all we have to do in this situation here is actually just swing for 7 4 times, right? Or wait, 3 blockers, 1 for 5 times. We just have to swing for 7 5 times, and we can do that very easily. 2 on the leader, 5 on Mr. 3 Galdino, 2 on Alvida. And we have 2... Actually, do we not have enough Dawn? I think we're going to be on 9 Dawn this turn, aren't we? Yeah, we're going to be on 9 Dawn. So, Pauls, this is just a mistake here. This is just a mistake. Ends up being fine, but hear me out. What we should have done, we have complete math, a complete math lethal here, right? So they have 3 blockers to stop 3 attacks. They only have 3 cards in hand. That can only stop 1 more 7K attack, right? A 2K and a 1K, and then 1 more 7K will punch through for lethal. And we can easily do that with the 9 Dawn we have on the turn, on the board right now. We go 2 Dawn on Alvida, 2 Dawn on our leader, and then the remaining 5 Dawn, which will be that, right? There we go. That will go on Mr. 3 Galdino, and there is no way to get out of it. So, but we do things a little bit differently here. We do things incorrectly. We swing for 5, and they give us a blocker, and I'm like, okay, yeah, just keep swinging, I guess. We'll just keep smashing in here for 5, so I'm trying to get cards out of hand. Okay, we'll see what they do here. They give me a 2K. Now we're going to swing for 7. They give me a blocker. We're going to swing for 7. They give me a blocker. Okay, well, if that's the case, we're going all in here. We're going to go for 10. And watch this. He had 2 2Ks in hand. So he had 3 2Ks, guys. I all but let my opponent win the game. I mean, maybe not win the game. I'm not saying they would have won on the crackback, because obviously I would not have put all 9 Dawn on one character at that point. I would have changed up my play line a little bit there to be more defensive, so I wouldn't just lose right away on the crackback. But it's like I pretty much gave my opponent to get out of these 2 5K attacks for free, and then he could have gotten out of a 7K. So think about it. It could have been let's go back. Hang on. So we have perfect hand knowledge now. He has 3 2K counters in hand here. So let's go back to the beginning of this turn. So hang on, let me hit play. And here we go. We untap, we go to 9 Dawn, and let me get to 9 Dawn. Pause. So we swing for 5, 5, 7, 7. All he had to do was go, okay, we swing for 5, just give me a 2K counter. Guys, don't be afraid. If you're a newer player, do not be afraid to give a 2K counter for a 5K attack if you're a 5K leader, right? That's fine. The idea, understand the logic, guys. Understand the principle here. The idea is you're giving 1 card to stop 1 attack. That's why you should never be concerned about giving a 1K or a 2K to get out of a 5K attack. Now, if you can, of course, give a 1K, obviously. If you can give a 1K, do that. But if you have to give a 2K, don't be scared of it. You still got out of 1 attack, right? So, in other words, if we swing 5 without Vita, like we did, he gives me a 2K counter. If we swing 5 more with our leader, give me a 2K counter. If we swing 7 with Crocodile, which we did, he can block with Trafalgar Law and give me a 2K counter. So let's see what that would have looked like, actually. I mean, maybe my opponent was thinking ahead. Let's see if that would have mattered. So if he would have done things just like that, where it's like, okay, 5K with Alvita, there's 1 card from hand. 5K with leader, there's another card from hand. 7K with Croc and Mihawk. Let's even say he just gives me the blocker Bonnie, right? Like, say he wants to keep the 2K in hand. Okay, well, he has a 2K in hand and 2 blockers, and I only have 3 more possible attacks at that point. I'm probably not going all in at that point, right? I'm going to swing for 7 with my Mihawk, and then he can just give me the beige and keep the 2K in hand. Okay, no problem. Now I'm just going to extend the game out 1 more turn. I'm going to trash a card with I'm probably going to trash the Mr. 3 Galdino at that point to, well, it depends if he gets rid of the beige or not. Like, that's going to depend on all the math for all this. But I'm probably just going to trash a card with my leader for the Mr. 3 Galdino to try and bottom deck a card. And then from there, I'm going to, even if I have to push a card to life, right? Even if I have to bottom deck his Trafalgar Law and it goes to life, that's still fine with me as long as it's 1 big attacker off the board. And then I'm going to play out the 4-cost Moji and have a blocker and go from there with some decent counterpower in hand, nothing crazy. Anyway, hopefully that made sense. Good game to my opponent. That was a fun one. Okay, now let's wrap things up here. Let's go back to the deck list. Let me move my camera back over to here. So this is the list I was running. There are all of these new ST-25 cards I think are incredible for Buggy. The only one I don't really like that much is this one. Maybe there's still an idea to run 1 or 2 of these. I love the art on this card, but I'm not a huge fan of what the card does. Everything else, though, I'm a really big fan of, and I think it's really good. Some other options you could consider in the list, is something like Sanji's Pilaf. I think this is a solid card to potentially include. There are some stages, there is a stage I know people really love to play with Buggy. I see this all over the place. By all means, if you want to run this card, run this card. The Karai Bari Island. This is a 1-cost stage. You can play it right on turn 1. It is cross-guild searchable. Activate main, send 2 cards from your hand to the bottom of your deck, and rest the stage. Notice you don't show the cards. You do not reveal the card to your opponent, and then if your leader's cross-guild, you're going to draw 2 cards. So you're not revealing the card to your opponent. You're just going to take 2 cards, bottom deck them, and then draw 2 new cards. It helps you cycle very quickly. Okay? What else? So this is a great card to include if you want to try to run this. What else? So one card I don't think we necessarily need in this deck is the 6-cost Gum Gum Red Rock. Here's why. Our character's effect here, the 10-cost 12K, we can play this for 5. And now we do have to trash a card if we choose to play it for 5. But we could play this out for 5 and literally bottom deck any character in the game. So I don't think we actually need Red Rock, but a card that might be pretty good for us would be Gravity Blade. Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger, into those boards that go super wide, this might be a really nice inclusion into the list. And I'm going to be honest, guys, if I were to make any quick, adjustments to the list, I probably will go, I would consider going -2 of this Crocodile, and then we also are going to be able to clear up room for this DOS Bones. So probably go like -2 Crocodile for 2 Grab Blades, and the trigger's nice as well. And then in the place of this DOS Bones, another card you should always consider this in any blue deck you're running, is Charlotte Pudding. Maybe we'll go 2 of these. Let me drop the DOS Bones out. Maybe we go 2 Charlotte Puddings in the place here, and who knows, maybe we even put in 2 of the stage at that point. It's up to you guys. Maybe this is something we can mess with going forward. It's something along these lines. Okay. What else? It would be nice to have some ways to bounce cards back to hand, like maybe a Jozu or something like that. That's another card we could potentially add to the mix. But at the same time, if you notice what's going on here, there's a lot of bricks in what you see on the screen here. So we've got plenty of work to do. All right, for all the Buggy mains out there, please tell me what you think in the comment section below. Please be nice. Give some constructive criticism, some helpful hints on what you think we should do with the list. I do know they've already been having some success. I think there's already been some top 32 Buggy placements over here in the West for OP11 in the new starter deck format. By all means, be sure to check those out. I'll try to link that in the comment section below, guys, where you can find something like that if I remember. But other than that, I mean, hey, Buggy is an absolute menace, guys. Let me load in the normal list we had here. Buggy is an absolute menace right now. Really enjoyed playing this deck when I didn't think I would. I didn't think I'd enjoy playing this, but I really did. And while let me say this one more time because I mentioned how many bricks there were at the end. There are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. 24 bricks in the deck. But guys, you're trashing bricks like crazy with Buggy. You're drawing cards like a madman, right? I mean, you're drawing with the Searcher here. You're drawing with the 8-cost Mihawk. You're drawing with the 6-cost Mihawk. I should say the Crocodile Mihawk. I've heard some people call it Crocohawk or something like that. So with the 8-cost Crocodile and Mihawk, you're doing a draw 2 trash one. With the 6-cost Dracula Mihawk, you're doing a draw 2 trash one. With this Alvita, you're doing a draw 3 trash 2. This Margaret's drawing cards. This Galdino's drawing cards. I mean, almost every card's drawing cards in this deck. Even the Mr. 1 Das Bones draw 2 trash one. And even this Moji on KO's drawing cards. So again, you're drawing a ton of cards in this deck. And even though there's like 22 bricks, I never felt like, man, I wish I had more counter in my hand. It never really felt that way. And because we're running so many blockers, notice how many blockers we're running, guys. 4 Margaret, 4 Kabaji, 4 Moji, and then 4 Mihawk. That's 16 blockers. So it does feel pretty strong in that way. Okay, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell me what y'all thought in the comment section below. Let me get the outro on here. Guys, if you're supporting my channel in any way, shape, or form, whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, using my TCG Player affiliate link, if you're donating through Patreon or PayPal, if you're a Playmat supporter, a YouTube member, part of the Discord community, whatever you're doing to help out and be a part of the community, I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Till next time, guys. Peace.